Families of Appalachia was one of the most important parts of Appalachia. They were the culture, the one thing that kept Appalachia going. They depend on each other to keep going in their day-to-day lives. The photos in this video are special. They are sent by email by our sister Jannit Nolen. This is her family dating back into the 1800s. Some of the photos taken date back to 1910. So sit back, relax, and see what the photos have to say. Appalachia. The mountains are like no other. From its rigid terrain, beautiful wildlife, to the people that live their lives here, to the strange, unexplained stories that folks share. Join me while I share this amazing place, one story at a time. The first few photos are of the Cox side of her family, all in their going to town trading clothes. Going to trade is our modern day shopping. Back then, you didn't run to town for every little thing. It could be months between town trading visits. The whole family would make a day of it. Kids would just look in awe through the windows at all the new stuff, while Ma went inside to trade with the keep. This place is where you would get your meal, your flour, your sugar, coffee, and them kind of things. Play pretties, clothes, shoes, and tools. Photo number 1 is of Grandma Cox, all dressed up with her little flower-topped hat, shiny white heels, her pretty striped dress. She was ready to trade or go to church. Photo number 2 is of Grandpa Cox after a full day of good old fishing. He did mighty good too. He looked so comfortable in his old overalls, sideways tipped hat, and long sleeve shirt. And boy, what a smile was he wearing. He loved that fishing. Number 3 is of Grandma and Grandpa Cox together. Those two love each other with such passion. They only wanted the best for their family. Mrs. Cox raised the kids the best way she could. And Mr. Cox did all he could to keep food and everything they would need to keep going. The two made a pair to be reckoned with. And I bet they could swing a mean hickory to keep everyone in line. Number 4 is of Mr. and Mrs. Cox and their young family. They both loved each one the same. They were each raised to respect the elders and be honest and loving as they could be. They did everything they could do to scratch out an existence, only depending on each other. The kiddos had their part to play, their chores. Each part come together to make one big picture, a prime example of Appalachian living. Number 5 is of the whole bunch all grown up. You can see each one took something from the lessons their mother and father taught them. It's so hard to find photos of an entire family together like this. So many split down the middle and spread to the wind. Years between time when they see each other. The folks loved each other so much they had each other's back and listened to every word they were told as adults just as they did when they were children. Photo number 6 was taken in 1926 of Jan's grandfather Nolan just before her dad was born. You can tell he was a tough man. He went through something, but it made him strong as an ox. He had on his Sunday best, a nice button-up the front shirt, and his overalls. It ain't much, but it's the best they had. Mr. Nolan taught what he learned to his kids, to live from the land, to work hard and honest, and give thanks to the Lord Almighty Himself. Photo 7 is of Mr. Nolan as an old man with his wife. They have their first grandbabies in their lap. And boy, those were their prized possession. They sure love them babies. They love each other too. I'm sure they spoiled the tire out of them. All Mr. Nolan's hard work was for this moment, so that the next generation could live on long after he was gone. Photo number 8 is of Thomas and Sophronia Thompson Nolan, parents of Mr. Nolan. These two taught him everything he knew. They raised him to be what he became, so he could do the same, passing on all his knowledge. Thomas and Sophronia were the backbone, living off the land, working hard and honest, earning every penny they had. This photo dates back to 1910. Number 9 is of a covered bridge. Thomas and Sophronia had a covered bridge and a gristmill built by Sophronia's father. This is how they made the money to keep the farm and family going. Folks would come from all over to have their corn milled, to make bread and other things they needed. Thomas worked hard, but he did it every day because his family and community needed him. Photo number 10 is of Edna and Willie, Jan's great aunt and uncle. This was their wedding picture taken back in 1919. These two had to be so nervous just starting out, just getting married. They would bring the next generation into the family. They would pass on everything they were taught. They would love each other and devote their entire lives to each other until they would draw their final breath. Photo number 11 is of Jan's dad, just home from fighting in World War II. He is with his sister, mother, niece, and nephew. They were so happy he came home, for so many did not. The Lord was with him over on those shores. Right behind them is his first car. Man, is this an accomplishment. Getting your first car was so neat. You could go trade without walking, riding a horse, or bumming a ride from someone else. You could go visiting, as so many folks did on the weekends. Photo number 12 was taken in 1959. This is Jan herself in a turkey pen. She tells this photo is the very reason why they eat ham on Thanksgiving. It gave her PTTD, post-traumatic turkey disorder. This is such a neat photo, getting to see her as a little girl on the farm with all them turkeys. Photo 13 was taken way back in 1932 when times were tough. This is Roy and Bessie Nolan, Jan's aunt and uncle. Now, Bessie was a third great niece of old Daniel Boone himself. This was their wedding day. Their license was only good in another county. So the two and the preacher crossed the line, hopped out, and said their vows. Not even a church, just a roadside service. The two would raise 11 fine children. 4 of their boys would serve their country. Photo number 14 is of Roy and Bessie with 4 daughters and 3 sons and 1 son-in-law. This was taken back in 1952. Now, Roy was a mighty hard-working man, doing everything he could to make sure they had what they needed. Roy delivered, installed, repaired, and filled propane and propane furnaces. Mighty hard work, but he did it every day, like his ma and pa taught him. Work hard, be honest, and give thanks to the Lord. Well, folks, I want to thank you for sitting and watching this video of the photos of Jan's family. I want to say a special thank you to Jan for sending us these photos so that we could put them in the video and share them with you guys. If you have any photos and would like them put together and tell the story of your ancestors, you can email them to myerstalesofappalachia@gmail.com. And I'd be glad to get with you and see if we can't come up with something. Well, I appreciate you listening. I love you to pieces. And I'll see you next time.